Hello, 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 hello. And implementation include the coding, testing, installation, documentation, training, and the support the physical system specification, whether the form of detail model as or the detail written specification are turned over the program at the first part of the implementation. During this implementation, programmers turns the system specification into the working system that the speed then put into use during this coding. Programmers use implementation maintenance system is operating system in an organization. User summons find the problem how it is works and then often think the better way to perform its function. Also the organization needs with respect to the system change over time. In the maintenance, programmers makes the changes the user asks for, then modify the system and reflect evolving business conditions. These changes are necessary to keep the system running and useful. In sense of maintenance is not separate phase but the repetition of the other life cycle phase required to study the implement the need changes. The three main activity performed in the phase: obtaining the maintenance request, transforming the request into the charges, designing the charges, implementing product output or the deliberative priority for the system and the project, or the an architecture for the data network and the selection hardware and the information system management are the result of the associated system detail step or the work plan for the project. Specification of the system scope and the planning and the high level system requirement of the future assignment of the team member and the other resources. System justification or the business case description of the current system where the problems or the opportunities exist with the general recommendation on how to fix and enhance and replace the current system. Explanation of the alternative system and the justification for choose an alternative. Functional detail specification of the all the system data process input. Technical data specification, file network system software acquisition plan for the new technology. Code documentation, training procedure and the support capability. Maintenance, new version or the release of the software, associated update to the documentation, training and the support. System development methodology or the software process model. It is the standard process followed in an organization to conduct all the necessary steps to analyze, design, implement, and maintain the information system. Traditional waterfall model of the system development. The waterfall model is the linear sequential approach to the system development life cycle that is the popular software engineering. Product development. The waterfall model is the logical progression of the SDLC step for the project. Similarly, the direction waterfall over the edge of the cliff. It is set the distance endpoint or the goal for each phase of the development. This endpoint or the goal can be revisited after their completion. Advantage of the waterfall model: simple method and easy to use. Phases of the clear, suitable for a smaller project, easy to manage. Disadvantage of the waterfall model does not allow the much revision, not suitable for the complex project, does not include a feedback path. Customer can see working model of the project only at the end. Planning, analysis, logical design, physical design, implementation, maintenance. Spiral waterfall model. Spiral model is one of the most important system development life cycle which provide the support for the risk handling. In the diagrammatic representation, it looks like the spiral with many loops. The exact number of the loops in the spiral is unknown, can vary from project to project. Each loops of the spiral phase is called the software development process. The spiral model is called the meta model because it is summation of all the other software development life cycle. For example, a single loop spirally actually represent the iterative waterfall model. The spiral model incorporate the stepwise approach of the classical waterfall model. The spiral model use the approach of the prototyping model by building the prototype as start of each phase. Risk handling good for the large project. flexibility in requirement, customer satisfaction, disadvantage, complex, expensive, too much dependency on the risk analysis, difficulty in the time management, determines objective, identify, resolve risk, cumulative cost, project review, prototype to 1, prototype to operational, prototype detail design, code integration, test implementation, plan the next iteration, development and the test, agile methodology. The agile is the iterative approach to the project management and software development that helps the teams deliver the value their customer faster and fewer attacks instead of betting everything on a big bang launch, and the agile team delivers the work in the small but the consumable increment. The requirement plan and the result are evaluated continuously, so the teams have a natural mechanism for responding change quickly. Agile project management is not singular framework, rather it can be used as an umbrella term to include the many different framework. Agile project management can refer to the term including Scrum, Kanban, Extreme Programming, XP, Adaptive Project Framework. For Agile main value individual and interaction over the process and the tools working software over the comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over the contract negotiation, responding to change over a following plan, design documented prototype, requirement analysis, iteration demo and the feedback, production and technical support. Extreme programming an approach to the software development is known as the extreme programming, aims to increase the software representatives and the quality. It promotes the frequent release in the software development cycle as a sort of agile software development with the goal of increasing productivity and in introducing the checkpoint whether the customer requirement can be accepted. Other characteristics of extreme programming include the working in the peer or performing the extensive code review, unit testing all code, delaying the development of the feature until they are actually required. The flat organizational structure, simple and the clear code, anticipating the changes in the customer's requirement over the time as the issue of the better understood. Advantage of the XP stable system, clear code, less documentation, customer satisfaction. Disadvantage of XP, unclear estimate, stressful, peer programming takes longer, case tool, the case tool that provide the automated system for the some portion of the system development process. Case tools are used to support the wide variety of SDLC activity. Case tools can be used to help the multiple phases of the SDLC project identification and the selection, project initiation and planning, analysis, design and implementation, and the maintenance. The general types of case tool are diagramming the tool enable the process data control structure to be represented graphically, computer display and report generator helps a prototype how system looks and field display or form. The report generation makes it easier for the system analyst to identify the data requirement, and relationship analysis tools automatically check for incomplete, inconsistent or the incorrect specification in the diagram form, and report. A central repository enables the integrated storage of the specification, diagram, report and the project management documentation. Generator produces the technical and the user documentation in the standard form. Code generator enables the automatic generation of the program, and the database define the code directly from design documentation, diagram form, and the report. SDLC phase, project identification and selection, project initialization and the planning, analysis, logical and physical design, implementation, maintenance, display the structure, high level organizational information, develop the project scope and feasibility, determine and stock the system requirement, create a new system design, translate the design into the information system, evolve the information system keys, tool uses diagramming and matrix tools to create the structural information repository, and documentation generator to develop the project plan, diagramming to create the project logic and the data models, form report generator to a prototype design, analysis documentation generator to define the specification, code generation. Agile methodology, it takes the iterative approach to the software development, it takes the sequential approach to the software development. It works well when the scope of project is unknown, it works well when the scope about the project is known before it allows the change to be made even after the development started. The contract term won't allow the change to be made as the process sequential. Customer availability is important throughout the entire project. Customer availability is required only by it. While setting the milestone provide the flexibility to oversee the development. Project flexibility is limited. Products are tested frequently for the box error during the development cycle. Tested cannot be done during the development cycle but only at the end. The information system is the interrelated component that create the process, store, retrieves and diminishes the information to facilitate the organizational and the decision making process. Information system also helps the manager and worker to analyze the problem, visualize the complex subject, and create the new product. The input of the search system is the data, and the process data becomes information system. Types of information system: transaction processing system. The transaction processing system is a computerized system that performs and records the daily routine of the transaction necessary to conduct the business, such as the sales, order entry, hotel reservation, payroll, employee record keeping, shipping, tips track. The major purpose of tips is to answer the routine question and track the follow-up transaction throughout the organization. It is the source of data into the MIS and DSS management information system. MIS is a specific category of the information system serving middle management. MIS provide the middle manager with the report in the organization current maintenance. MIS summarize the report. The basic transaction data from the TPS are compressed and usually presented in the report. Data produced on the regular schedule. MIS are general purpose and well integrated system. Decision support system DSS. Decision support system are the interactive computer-based system which helps in the decision maker utilization of the data model source solve the semi-structured problem. The DSS executive support system, it is the primary is the top level management. It is user-friendly interactive system designed to meet the information need. The top management engage in the long-range planning crisis. Expert system is artificial intelligence system based on the system that convert the knowledge, experience, intuition, and the judgment of the human expert to the organization acquire and retain the knowledge. Expert systems are good at the solving the semi-structural and unstructured problem and can help to solve the complex problems that require the theoretical knowledge and the practical expert. Expert system typically consist of the three-part knowledge base which contain the information acquired by interviewing the expert and logic rules that governs how that the information is applied. Interface engine that interface the submitted problem against the rules and logic of the information stored in the knowledge base. User interface that allow the user to express the problem in the human language such as English. Office automation system are designed to increase the productivity and the clinical knowledge and workers and enhance the communication in the workspace. Office automation uses knowledge software applied in the business and the communication function that used to perform the manually or in the multiple location of the company, such as preparing written communication and performing the regular official activity. Gantt chart it shows the duration of the chart. Pot chart it shows the dependency between the tasks. It shows the time overlap between the tasks. It shows the tasks that can be done in the parallel. It is employed for the small project. It is used in the large complex project. Time duration and percentage completion have the accurate completion is decided is based on the predict or fast processing visually show the stack in the schedule, show the stack time by the rectangle. Object oriented methodology, the main object is the data in the real world project are important. The main focus on the process and procedure of the system. It uses the increment or the iterative methodology. It uses the SDLC methodology suitable for the project with changing user requirements, suitable for a project with well-defined user requirement, high risk and low reusability, low risk and high reusability. Project manager or activity performed by the project manager during the initiation, planning, execution, and termination of the project. Initiating the project during the project. Initiating the project manager performs the several activities, establishing the relationship with the customer, establishing the project initiation plan and the management procedure, establishment of the project initiation, establishment of the project management environment and the workbook, developing the project charter, planning the project activity performed while planning the project, are describing the project scope, alternative and feasibility, dividing the project into the manageable tasks, estimating the resources and creating the resource plan, developing the preliminary schedule to communication plan, identifying and assessing the risks. Execution of the project following activity are performed during the project execution baseline project plan, monitoring the project progress, managing the baseline project plan, maintaining the project workbook, communicating the project status, closing the project, the activity performed during this phase at termination of the project, conducting the project review, closing the customer contract, corporate strategic planning (CSP). Corporate strategic planning is an ongoing process that defines the mission, objective, and strategy of the organization. Its outcomes are the mission statement, a statement that makes it clear with the business or company is in statement of the objective, a series of the statement that express an organization quantitative and quantitative goals for reaching a desired future position. Competitive strategy, the method by which the organization attempts to achieve its mission and objective. The comprehensive competitive strategic are at the locus procedure and product definition and the product focus are the niche. Corporate information system planning. Corporate information system planning is an orderly means of assessing the information system of an organization and deleting the system database and technology that will best to satisfy those measured. Top-down planning, bottom-up planning. Planning team is chartered to the model existing solution metrics are developed to cross the reference unit object list and organizational location function to reflect the described location matrices are updated to reflect the future state. Planners focus on difference between the current list and future list and the matrix broad comprehensive document are created that looks at the both short-term and the long-term organization development project need consist of the series of the project charter is the short document that is prepared for the both the internal and the external stakeholder. It provides the high-level overview of the project. It is useful communication tools that helps to ensure that the organization and other stakeholders understand the initiation of the project baseline project. It is documented that all the information collected during the project initiation and the planning once the BPP is completed, a formal review of the project plan can be conducted with the project client and other interested party. It has the four section: introduction, system description, feasibility assessment, management issue, a project scope statement. It is the short document prepared for the customer that describes what the project will deliver and outline. Feasibility analysis is the process of evaluating the potential of the proposed project or the venture. It is used to determine whether the project is viable and the project identify any potential issue. Economic feasibility is the feasibility analysis that assesses the potential financial performance of the proposed project or the venture. The goal of economic feasibility analysis is to determine whether the project financially viable and identify the potential risk factor risks or issues that may arise during the implementation of the project. Economic feasibility analysis, the sources breakdown. The analysis will also include the identification of the potential funding sources and consideration of the project impact. Technical feasibility, the assignment of whether the purpose project or the solution can be implemented with the existing technology and the resources. It involves in the determining if the necessary technology and resources are available, they can be used effectively, identifying the technical requirement of the project. This includes the determining the hardware, software, and other resources that are required to implement the project, assessing the availability of the project technology and the resources. This includes the determining of the required technology and the resources that are currently available or if they need to be developed or acquired, evaluating the compatibility and the purpose solution with the existing system. This includes the determining if the purpose solution can be integrated with the existing system, if it is compatible with the existing infrastructure, estimating the cost and benefit of the purpose solution. This include determining the cost associated with acquiring and implementing the technology and resources, comparing them to the benefit that the project is expected to generate, identifying the potential technical risks for developing the risk management. This include identify the potential technical issue that will arise during the implementation of the project. Operational feasibility is an assessment whether the purpose project or the solution can be implemented and sustained with the existing organizational structure and the resources. It involves determining if the purpose solution can be effectively and efficiently integrated into the day-to-day operation of the organization, and if necessary resources including the personnel and funding are available to support the project. The operational feasibility assessment identifying the organizational impact and the purpose solution. This includes the determining how the purpose solution will impact the existing organizational structure, process, and the role, assessing the availability and of the necessary personnel and the resources. This include the determining the necessary personal resources such as funding and equipment are available, evaluating compatibility of the purpose solution, identifying the potential risks and developing the risk management plan, establishing support and maintenance plan. These include the determining how the purpose solution will be supported and maintained, what one it is implemented. Schedule feasibility is an assignment of whether the purpose project or solution can be complete. Legal and the contextual feasibility is the assignment of the whether the purpose project or solution is complement with the relevant law, regulation, and contract. It involves determining the purpose project or solution that legal contextual requirement that may be applied to it, such as the environmental health and safety and the data privacy regulation. Political feasibility is a assignment of whether the purpose project or the solution is likely to be supported and approved by the relevant political stakeholder and decision maker. It includes identifying the relevant political stakeholder, assessing the political priority and agenda, evaluating the potential political risks, identifying the necessary funding and approval, and building the support and the alliances. The time value money TVM is the concept that states that the money in the present is worth more than the same amount of money in the future. The basic formula for calculating the present value PVFP. Net present value is the financial metrics that calculate the present value of the cash. Return on investment (ROI). Return on investment means the financial metric that measures the investment of and measure the efficiency of an mm, net gain or loss into the 100% project planning. Break-even analysis at the break-even point. Break-even analysis is the financial tool used to determine the point in which the revenue of the project or the investment equals to its cost. It is commonly used to evaluate the economic feasibility. Analysis methodology. Method of determining the system analysis. Traditional method of collecting the system requirement. Individually interview the people, inform about the operation and issue the current system. Interview the group of the people with diverse need and to find the synergy and contrast among the system requirement. Observe the worker at the selected time to see how data are handled and what information. Study the business complementary management. Radical method. Business processing engineering. Identifying the current business process, analyzing the current process, designing the new process, implementing the new process, measuring the result. Disruptive technology. Quality of the skill of the system analysis, communication skill, technical skill, analytical skill, problem solving skill, decision making, managerial skill. Process modeling involves graphically representing the function or the process that capture, manipulate, and store the descriptive data between. Context DFD of the system through the description of the each DFD component in the data flow diagram. A data flow diagram is the geographical representation follow of the diagram that information system issues the follow of the diagram entirely. The values context level DFD is the highest level DFD that shows the overall system boundary and relation. The context diagrams will be simple and easy to understand. The context diagrams will be single diagram. Data source should not be appear in the context diagram. It should be the main component of the system. Level 1 DFD, it is the next level of the DFD and shows the major process within the system is more. It breaks through the smaller subsystem and shows the data flow diagram between them. And the level of DFD shows the process from the level 1 DFD even more in detail. It breaks the process into the smaller sub process. The DFD process shows the greatest level. It breaks down and process into the smaller possible sub process and so how the data flow diagram between them. Logical modeling is the method used to represent the relationship between the constraint among the variables in the problem decision table.